Next up on the playlist, we're going to hear from the most famous artist from one of the most prolific musical nations on the planet, also one of the poorest, the West African country of Mali. Toumani Diabaté is known the world over for his mastery of the Kora, infusing his style of West African blues with musicians like Britain's Damon Albarn, Iceland's Björk, and Cuba's Buena Vista Social Club. But what is it about Mali that allows its musicians to cross cultural boundaries so effortlessly and create such wonderful fusions? Toumani Diabaté and the musically malleable country of Mali.
Toumani Diabaté's story starts with the Kora.
To play the Kora, you have these three possibilities. You can play bass line, you can play melody, and also you can improvise on one time.
There's something about Toumani's style and the way that he hits the string, the clarity of his sound, and the way that he can play all the elements of the orchestra. He can combine them all on the Kora. Melody, rhythm, harmony, it's all there on the Kora.
It's difficult to put Toumani's music into a tight box and describe it as a very specific musical form, because I think he's made an amazing journey, not only as a person, as a musician, and his music has taken on the influences that he's encountered through life and through travelling as well. And every time he's encountered a new musical form, his own expression of his traditional music has also been influenced by that.
Diabaté and the country of his birth, Mali, are at the intersection of traditional West African music and the blues. The blues came from places like Mali. West African musicians and Western artists are like distant cousins. Their instruments speak different dialects of the same musical language.
Music being created its own language. The F, G, C, D. In Mali, it's the same in England, it's the same in Sydney, it's the same in Japan, it's the same in India. So music doesn't have any border. When I meet other musicians, like the great musicians, it's not their music I'm playing. I play my own music. They play their own music, and we put together, and it will become a new music, you know. You just have to do things from your heart.
He's always found a common ground to pull out and to almost make his own as well. But also I think the musicians that he has collaborated with, their musical background shares something with West African music. I'd say the blues and the flamenco stuff that he's done over time, all those musical forms can trace their roots at heart back to West Africa.
Je vous ai toujours dit que quand on prend le miel et qu'on met le sucre là-dedans, c'est pas pour la rendre amère. Je n'ai pas besoin de répétition. Et il n'a pas besoin de répétition. Nos deux n'ont pas besoin de répéter. Moi, je n'ai jamais répété pour la cause de la musique.
Toumani Diabaté is just one of many world-class musicians that Mali has produced. Ali Farka Touré is a guitarist whose sounds also work their way seamlessly into other musical forms. Mali is a country that stretches from the Sahara Desert to the Niger River. It has a history going back to the 14th century of griots, musicians like Diabaté, who are repositories of oral tradition. They are the keepers of history, which is written in song.
It had a very, very sophisticated society with specialist artisans, and amongst those artisans were the professional musicians, storytellers, historians, and they were the griots. And they really have influenced the music of that entire region, going all the way from Senegal to Burkina Faso on northern Ivory Coast. It's just a very long tradition. It's a tradition of 700 years or longer that has constantly been able to adapt and modernize and evolve.
And this is demanding the griot society, demanding society, you know. The only single things people know today about Mandé history is from the griot people. We take care of the histories from 700 years ago to now, and you know, forever, inshallah. And we have, the music is one of the best way to communicate.
The new album, the Mandé Variations, takes its name from the ancient Malian Empire and contains audible footprints of Diabaté's long musical journey through Western pop, Indian classical music, flamenco, and the blues.
It has elements of Celtic harp, it has elements of Venezuelan harp, you can hear a bit of Cuban music in it. So there's something that anybody from around the world can listen to and actually grasp hold of and relate to it. So I think it's a music which is very, very accessible, but at the same time, you know that it's really rooted in a particular tradition.
In a sense, it's interesting because he's gone full circle. He's gone right to the big band and leading a lot of musicians, electric instruments and all kinds of modern sort of styles and techniques, and gone right back to where he started in a way, yet also bringing with it the understanding of a more global sound as well, and also, again, taking it back to the traditional values and putting some more meaning, like extra meaning into the traditional music itself.
I wanted to do for 20 years, thank God, I get chance to play with a lot of great musicians and I get more experience. So I just think and then sit down, record it, listen to it, check it again, and then do it. And this is the final result.
The music of Toumani Diabaté. His latest album is called The Mandé Variations. If you, like us, enjoy a mix of musical flavors, then get a load of what's coming up later in our series.
Cuban water drawn from a Canadian well. That's how one critic described Alex Cuba, a Canadian-based Cuban guitarist who churns out Latin, African funk, and jazz riffs on his Gibson. We'll dip into South Africa. The members of Freshly Ground come from Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and South Africa. Their sonic elements include traditional African forms, along with blues, jazz, and indie rock. Toumi and The Volume are out of Soweto. They play hip-hop funked up with jazz, samba, and reggae. Somebody called what they do hip-hop for grown-ups.
That's just some of what's coming down the line, but we're wide open to your ideas of where we should go, what musicians we should feature. Email us at playlist@aljazeera.net. That's how you can get with the program. We're leaving you this week with more from Terrafolk from Slovenia. And we'll see you next time when music and cultures get together here on the Playlist on Al Jazeera.